Hello everyone and welcome back to my train simulator 2022 it is, sorry, tutorial series where we are creating our own scenario. Now in this episode it's episode 4B, so in this episode we are going to actually be giving the train, the player train, its its timetable for the driver, the player, to follow. So let's get straight into it. I won't bore you with the details of this process. You've probably done it 1,000 times, unless you're watching these videos back to back, in which case it's build menu, scenario tab, find your route, just the main line for me, find the scenario, click edit. And all these processes, they may seem complicated, but trust me, they become second nature after a while. In fact, it doesn't take long. That process of build menu, scenario tab, find the route, find the scenario was ingrained into my brain within about 2 scenarios. Because it is such a simple process. Like there's, I'll just get rid of that. That's things on a whole. That's something else which you don't really need for this level of scenario editing. That can be featured in an intermediate tutorial. So yeah, what we've got so far is we've got the train with its driver. Hello, Mr. Driver. I'm not sure if when we put this train down there was actually a driver sitting here or not. If there wasn't, then that driver was a direct consequence of this, just a little added thing. Or it was just there. Anyway, we're going to go back into the timetable view, which is this little icon here. Going to click on it. And we, as you might remember, we set things up. So we called it player consist. We made it a player train. Set the start. Well, we didn't have to set the start time. It done it for us. And we set the priority. So what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to actually tell it where to go. And you may remember I talked about zoom to path earlier. Well, you can see it does nothing at the moment. When zoom to train does, well, that will actually do something by the end of this episode. So basically to make it so it knows stop to pick up passengers, we need to add a pick up passengers instruction, and that's up here, and it's these 2 people here, and you click on that and it appears in the timetable over here. You'll notice it's exclamation mark, blah blah blah. Don't worry about that. So I want to talk about a few of these things up here. So we've got save, and you'll notice a few of them are grayed out. So if I just add a few more of just any random one for no reason, basically what I can do is I can just select one by ticking on the tick box, and with one selected, what I can do is I could delete it. I could move it up. Well, I don't know if I select this one, maybe I can move it up, I can move it down, and I can also press clear selection, which is useful if you've got if you've got, let's say, 5 million, I don't know, just random ones, and you don't want to have to, if you've got all these and you don't want to have to go through and select each one, there's a much simpler way. All you do is press these 9 green squares, which is called select all. Boom, selected them all. You can delete them all, but you can't move them up or down because that would just be odd, moving more than one. Clear selection does the exact opposite. I can only select one and move up and down. I couldn't select more than one. That's just I don't know why, because it would be really helpful if I had these 2 and I wanted to move them up here, let's say. So I'm going to select all. I'm going to delete them all. We're going to add a pick up passengers instruction. To actually play around with this and set it and stuff, we need to click on it like we did with this little driver here. So we click on it and it opens up a panel. Some of this stuff in the panel we worry about today in this episode. Some of them I'll talk about in tomorrow's episode. Basically, what we're doing is we just want to get the basics. We want the game to know this train should stop here. I'm going to display this on the HUD to the player and in the F1 screen. So what I'm going to do is you've got two. So first of all, first thing we can do is select a destination. Now there's three possible ways of doing this. So I can see it's Swanley platform 2. So I could type in Swanley platform 2, enter. It does nothing for some reason. So the second option is just you click on the drop down, scroll down. By the way, first option doesn't work. I literally just tried it for the first time. It doesn't work. I never knew about that. Anyway, so you can open up this drop down and scroll down, but that can get very tedious very quickly. The simplest way, sorry I'm a bit sniffly, is to click on this, which is the orange arrow pointing into a blue square. So click on that and it's set destination. Then what you do is you find the marker, which in this case is Swanley platform 2 platform marker. That's getting technical. So if we click that, it's automatically now set it to Swanley platform 2. Basically the default time for doors to be open is usually something around 20 seconds. And we want to change that because we might want this train waiting a little longer. So what we do is we click this clock, this tick box next to this clock, and that makes it a timetable. It makes it timetabled. So what you can do is you can play around with arrival times and departure times. That's basically what it lets you do. It also means that the doors stay open until the departure time. So what I want to do is I want to give the player time. Now the reason why it's saying 12 o'clock 11 seconds is you might be thinking, well, it's on the platform, surely it doesn't need to move any further. AI is automatically programmed to go to the very end of the marker. So in this case it's going to go all the way up to here. Although player common sense and logic won't do that. So that's why it's saying 11. Let's just say we give them 1.5 minutes to set up the train, open the doors and stuff. So 12:01:30. If we press enter, that sets. It changes this duration time. Ignore the 11-bit, just pretend that's 0, because that is the time that the game thinks is going to take for the train to get from wherever you've placed it to the end of that platform. Even though the driver, when they're playing it, will just open the doors and set the train up there. So yeah, you really don't need to worry about any extra seconds that are added on there. If you just make a sensible departure time relative to when the scenario starts, then you'll be okay. So the next bit is here, and this is performance. So basically, it's the percentage. I believe because I think there's two different possibilities which I'm undecided on. So the first one is that it's how much power it applies, but I think more commonly a commonly accepted thing is that it's the percentage of the speed limit it goes. So 75% is reasonable for the player because it gives enough time for the train's it gives a train's performance allowance. Some drivers might apply less power, meaning they'll be slower. Some might brake earlier, some might brake later. So it just gives that wiggle room. I generally, in my scenarios, I leave my the performance at 75. If you're playing around with using real timetables, which will be another tutorial series in the works at some point, basically, if you're playing around with that, then you are going to want to, you will be having to adjust this to be able to adjust arrival times, because if I at the moment set that to 12 o'clock 00, it goes red because it can't do that. The game thinks it can't do that. So if I set it back to 11, it's happy now. So by adjusting performance, so if I put this as 100%, wherever the percent key is, it's that. It stays at 11. That's because at these small speeds, there's not much of a difference. So I'll just set it back to 75%. And there's not, there's really nothing you need to worry about there. So a couple of tick boxes. This is handle off path. I've never had to use that. Again, as I've been saying earlier, if you want to try that, create an experiment scenario and just play around with these kinds of features. You'll learn more that way than trying to find, oh, what does so and so do on YouTube or something. Unload passengers. Basically unloads all passengers. You don't want that unless it's at a terminal station. Hide in task view. So basically what that is basically hiding it from the F1 task view. So if you don't want the player to see it, which is useful for go via instructions that you don't want to cause too much fuss, make too much of a big deal of it, of a go via. Go via's help to keep trains on the right track. No pun intended there. So yeah, this one is allow reversing. Just keep that because that it doesn't really make any difference if it's ticked or not in most cases. Some cases it does, some cases it doesn't. So now if I press zoom to path, you'll see it's zoomed to this very small path from the start of this train to the end of the platform. We've already been recording for 12 minutes, so I'm going to show you one more. I'm going to show you how to set this up one more, and then I'm going to go through a bit of a time lapse while I do the rest, okay? And now remember, you've got your game plan in mind. Which stops are you stopping at? So I'm going to show you how to do one more. I'm just going to head along the line and have a look at the next one, which is Farningham Road. So I'm going to show you how to do this one, and then I'll do a time lapse of the others. I won't pause recording and do it off camera. I'll do a time lapse so you can still see it and slow the video down if you need to, which can be done by going to the video options, which is the kind of the cog thing, playback speed, and then selecting the speed if you don't know how to do that. So again, locate the pick up passengers instruction, which are the two people. Click on it. Click on the icon in the timetable. Select the destination, so click on the arrow and box, click on the marker, which is Farningham Road Platform 2, click on the timetable icon here, the clock. Keeping it at 35 is okay for this kind of thing. So again, 75% is fine, and that is literally it. That is it set up in its most basic form. We're going to focus on these things down here in the next, in episode 4C, because they're different. That's for something else. So I'm going to close that, and now I'm going to do a time lapse. So I shall see you soon. Okay, so for Rochester, again for my game plan, I've decided that I want to put it into the this platform here. I mean, I knew that all along, but I just wanted to show you that final little step there. So, what I've done is it's now routed into Rochester. Of course, we haven't got any AI, so that thing of AI train coming in before player train isn't going to happen just yet. Now, if you have no, just do timetable there. If you have no error messages, then if your timetable looks like this and you have no error messages, then your scenario would work. Again, zoom to path. Or would it? No, it wouldn't is the answer. You may remember in the last episode we loaded up the scenario and it said final destination missing. What that was, and I'm going to have to run a bit over time here, is the player train requires a final destination instruction marker thing. What that does is that tells it where it ends, so where to end the scenario, and give you your scenario results and your points and stuff. So we're going to go to Rochester, and we're going to find the final destination, which is again this it's up in here, and it's the orange arrow pointing into the blue box. And if we it's all gone horribly wrong, and this you might be able to see it. I can't move this out of the way, but there's a kind of an X under here. What's happening to my scenario that I've just spent ages working on? Don't worry, it's just because it's panicking for some reason. I don't know why it has to do that, but if I just click on it here like we did with the pick up passenger instruction, and I do exactly the same thing. I set it in exactly the same way, and this requires a very fine cursor point. You have to grab the very top of the cursor and align it perfectly. You notice we can't timetable it or anything. I don't know why it says hide in task view. I don't think that really makes any difference in this case. And now this scenario would work perfectly. So what we could do is we can go OK. If we go drive, save changes, yeah. Now I just want to tell you that things look okay here, but actually I'm going to just show you this, just because I want to just show you the feeling of what things are like. But can I just give a tip? I know I'm not doing it right now. That's because I'm running out of time. Why did I not release? I thought I released the doors. There we are. I didn't release the others. Okay, so basically, usually when you load up a scenario and you've just come from the scenario editor, I would recommend you actually leave the scenario and press replay from the menu, because that gives the signals a chance to recalibrate and the signals to be correct. But just for this short test, just to prove to you what we've done, I'm not going to do that. But if I was doing a full test, then that is one of the things I would do. I do love this train. I was reading in the rail, right, platform duties complete. How do I close it? I forgot how to close the doors. Something like R? Oh, it's R, yeah. So, what we can do now is just check I haven't got DSD on. Okay, I'll put DSD on. So now we can go. We could literally go now. And things should work. Turn the DRA off. There we are. So, move train while a door open. Okay, I've no idea what happened there. But yeah, so testing works, and you can see it works there. So anyway, that's really it for this episode. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you will enjoy your weeks, and I shall see you in the next episode, part 4C, where we will be a bit friendly to our dear player, whoever the player may be. We shall be friendly to our player, and so I shall see you in that episode.